The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Live Oaks Golf Club and Roosevelt's at Live Oaks. Whether you're in the mood for a hot lunch or you want to go play a quick 18 with a cold beer, the only choice is Live Oaks Golf Club and Roosevelt at Live Oaks on Highway 49 North.
Well, speaking of situation, guess what? Gus Malzahn is the new head football coach for Central Florida.
That's a good situation.
That's a good situation for Gus.
75 and sunny?
75 and sunny in Orlando, which is an amazing – I'll be there in a couple of weeks, which is an amazing place to be. I don't know if Gus plays golf, but either way, quality of life's awesome. Cool place. You're close to the water. You got all kinds of kind of bay type. I mean, there's lakes everywhere in that area. So, and Tiger Woods lives there. I don't know what that had to do with anything. But Gus Malzahn is the new head football coach at Central Florida, which means he may win his way back to the Power Five. Isn't that crazy? Gus Malzahn's at Central Florida and Hugh Freeze is at Liberty.
I can't believe that.
What is going on?
Is he really that toxic?
I mean, knowing all the scandals that happen every day in the world, in every industry.
Where does the Freeze scandal really rank? In college football. Let's just even keep it to college football. Where does it rank?
Well, I mean, it's not as bad as...
Petrino got another job.
Yeah, but that wasn't... I mean, he was running around with a volleyball player who then he decided to employ. You know, there was a...
Freeze never got with an employee?
Well, that we know of, right. You're right. He
mean, how is that? I mean, you would think an off-campus,
but
unaffiliated...
was... he has no NCAA baggage.
And Freeze does.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then when you're... I think it's different when you hook up with a former volleyball player compared to an escort service. Well, according to Kid Rock, an escort service for all the right reasons was one of his lyrics.
You employed that volleyball player, though. That's the incredible part. And Freeze, to me, is
like the Paterno, Penn State stuff was awful and gross and dark. We're still kind of in a weird spot with Baylor. I mean, there's been some stuff come out that there's been a side come out that has argued that they didn't do near what we thought they did right at the beginning. Does that make sense, Blake? In other words, some of the depositions that have finally hit the wire, so to speak, the public access to the public.
But it doesn't surprise me that got Art Briles blackballed to a point that he couldn't get a job.
I'm with you.
That's not surprising. It's surprising to me that Freeze is being what is the undercurrent? Because I think Freeze is, other than maybe Art Briles, he's a better coach than I would take Freeze over Petrino.
I would too, because Freeze recruits.
Yeah, and so there's other coaches There's other coaches who get through these scandals, and yet Freeze, for some reason,
because there's more in the industry, they know more. The ADs, the inside people know more.
What's the breaking point? That's the question, right? When does Freeze become?
It's got to
hireable?
be. This has got to be. It's got to be this year. If he wins 8, 9, 10 games, it's got to be this year. ACC or Big 12 though is what it's going to be, Blake. I guess. I don't guess it's going to be the Southeastern Conference. I mean, my gosh, we had Vanderbilt come open, Tennessee come open, Auburn come open. Am I missing one? South Carolina. Oh my gosh, they hired Shane Beamer. Live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone is presented by Independent Roofing Systems, #1 commercial roofing company in Mississippi, Independent Roofing Systems. The Out of Bounds show is powered by Roofing.ms. Commercial roofing and waterproofing. Done right the first time, no shortcuts. Independent Roofing, #1 commercial roofing company in Mississippi and the Southeast. Projects like Nissan, Golden Moon Casino, Beau Rivage, Jackson Coliseum, among others. Independent Roofing Systems. Roofing.ms. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Gus Malzahn, the new head football coach at Central Florida. And Hugh Freeze is now going into year 3 at Liberty. I mean, he's one of the best football coaches in the country. But ADs seem to be gun-shy, so to speak. on hiring. But once he's hired, he's going to win. Can you imagine if you dropped him at like NC State? That's a place you can get lost. They don't love it. Raleigh's a nice town, Blake. A nice sized town.
But
lot going on there.
Not big enough to get you in trouble?
Well, I don't know about that, but what I mean is, they're not gung-ho.
Yeah, I mean with the NCAA.
Right?
Yeah.
You can get players. If you put him at Virginia Tech, obviously he's at Liberty, he's in the state of Virginia. If they move off Fuente, you put him at Virginia Tech, he's going to be dangerous.
Can he get that good of a job?
I would think so.
Out of Liberty. Well, but the problem is we've thought so for 2 years now that he could get a job, and he can't seem to get one. So,
I just believe when he gets it, it'll be a NC State, Virginia Tech.
You put those two on the side. I would have put Virginia Tech above NC State.
I don't think so. I think that Virginia Tech has won more the last 25 years because they had a great coach in Beamer. But Frank Beamer, that is. But
yes.
But NC State has everything they need to win.
Okay. I see Freeze.
They just never have really, gotten into it.
I see Freeze as a Big 12 guy. Is that weird? He seems like Texas through and through.
Well, Texas Tech almost fired. Is it Gary Anderson? I can't remember the dude's name from Utah State. But no, it's Matt Wells. No, what? Anyway, if you get him out in Lubbock, Texas, he'd win there.
It is Matt Wells.
Matt Wells.
Yeah, from Texas State, right? Or North Texas?
Matt Wells was from Utah State before Texas Tech, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the point is, what's another Texas? I mean, he's not going to Texas. He's not going to A&M.
No.
He's not going to Baylor right now, although I don't know if Aranda's a head coach. I doubt he is.
No to TCU.
Well, but Gary can't stay there forever.
No, but I don't know that they would hire Freeze, would they?
That's a great... They got a ton of money at TCU. They raised $200 million in like 3 minutes.
Yes.
Several years ago, coming off one of their bigger football seasons. And that wasn't the first chunk that they had raised. So, OK State, Gundy's kind of been on the edge of trying to get fired. He's made a ton of money. He's got, what does he have now? 15, 16 years in as the head coach, and he may have been an assistant at OK State. So he's got a ton of retirement years in. He's made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Mike, I'm a man. Gundy could, he could exit.
How about this one? Iowa State.
If Matt Campbell, I know Ole Miss tried to get him a couple year or so ago before Kiffin. Tennessee, I think, made a run at. I don't know what the deal is with why he's staying in Iowa State. As limited as you are up there, although he's won. I just looked at this preseason top 10, and this is nonsense, on ESPN.com, and they have Iowa State as number 8 in the country.
Ooh.
Come on. I mean, they go 6-6, 7-5 in the SEC West, maybe. But they play in the Big 12. Is there a Big 10 school he would be pretty dangerous. Hugh Freeze would be dangerous at Maryland. Maryland's another school, Blake, that I've always thought should, like NC State, they should win, but they don't care.
Yeah,
they're into other stuff.
They're a basketball school.
They think so. Yeah,
they want to be.
Sure, they did win it with Stevie Franchise. That was Gary Williams who won it. But you're right. They were in the ACC forever, and they wanted to be a basketball school. He would be really good there.
Yeah,
he would get everything lined up at an NC State or a Maryland, and win at a pretty high level.
Iowa State number 7 in the athletics early preseason top 25.
That's so ridiculous.
Cincinnati's number 8. So there you go.
That's just so. National college football people. It's just embarrassing.
Hugh Freeze at Indiana, following Tom Allen of Hugh Freeze.
I could
staff.
see that. That's a Big Ten school that could do that. You wonder how long Tom Allen, who coached for Hugh Freeze, will be at Indiana, because he's been winning. So, yeah.
How about this one? True Maroon.
Or maybe he gets lost out in the West. You know, Arizona, Arizona State, UCLA. God, he'd win. I mean, he would win if you dropped him at Arizona. I know Herm's kind of winning.
He's kind of doing all right.
Yeah, but they're not interested either. You know, they're into the mountains and sunshine and golf, and there's a ton of money out there. Man, you drop Hugh Freeze at Arizona State, they're number 7 in the country.
It would be interesting.
Like, legitimately, not like Iowa State is.
It would be interesting to see.
I'm telling you, you put him out west at Arizona State, over.
What about this one?
He'd win the Pac-12 and go to the college. He would have a great opportunity to win the Pac-12 because it's garbage.
Well, it's poorly run.
It's poorly run from A to Z. And higher ed's already poorly run. So then you kind of just you're just dousing
all those
the fire.
there's no good. Well, that's not true. Cristobal at Oregon would be your toughest competition, I think, and that'd be it.
Until Southern Cal makes a move, you're exactly right.
It would just be Cristobal and whoever Hugh Freeze was coaching.
But the Phoenix metro area,
lush.
Arizona State has got like 60,000 students, tons of money.
You can find a million
coffee on myself.
You can find a million
awesome.
receivers. A million receivers.
Oh, skill players. I mean, quarterbacks. People have money out there. They're paying out the wazoo. If you think dads around here are paying out the wazoo for one-on-one hitting coaches and pitching coaches in baseball, out there, they'll pay mega bucks in the L.A. Metro. I mean, you live in Manhattan Beach. You live in Beverly Hills. You live in any Laguna Beach, Newport. They'll pay $400 an hour for quarterback lessons.
Absolutely.
So you can find a dude who can sling it. Like Matt Corral. You know, I mean, not that Corral was, you know, in that position. He may or may not have been. I have no idea. But that's, you give Freeze Matt Corral type talent at Arizona State.
Yeah.
It's over.
No, I agree. Agree or disagree? Once Freeze gets hired, everyone else will kick themselves in the bleep for not taking the chance.
I agree. I also understand why ADs look at it and say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be the first one. You know? But you made some great points. Indiana, Maryland, NC State, Oklahoma State, Arizona State type programs, okay? Those are all kind of like Mississippi State. And MSU and Ole Miss are better, but they're in the same tier, but
only because
MSU and Ole Miss are ranked higher.
Only because of location and affiliation.
Because of commitment quotient. Because we love it more. We're willing to I mean, think about all the people who have game day condos and homes and spend an enormous amount of time in Starkville and Oxford. That doesn't happen in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Blacksburg, Virginia, and Stillwater, Oklahoma. And I mean, there's already millions of people that live in the Phoenix metro area, but you know what I mean. They don't live it and breathe it. I mean, I feel like 60% of the Arizona State fan base, Blake, on a Thursday afternoon going into game weekend doesn't know who they're playing. And they kind of get excited by, like, Friday night. They're like, oh, we have a game tomorrow. There are people planning right now for Ole Miss and Mississippi State football. Right now. That's the difference. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Independent Roofing Systems. They'll take care of your next commercial project. The #1 commercial roofing company in Mississippi. Independent Roofing Systems. Roofing.ms. That's roofing.ms.